Good morning. How is everybody?
Wow, hot.
You're what? Hot? Warm. Well, last week was cold, and the weekend was warm. Next week will be cold again. It just fluctuates. It keeps us on our toes. Yeah, wasn't this weekend gorgeous? Sunday was beautiful. Hopefully everyone got outside a little bit on this last weekend. Today is another beauty. Welcome to Coffee Chats. Today is the 25th of February, and so we are approaching the end of the month already. Next, what's it, Saturday? It's going to be in March, right? So, wow. Okay, I'll tell you what's going on for the week, and then I'll hand it over to Jeff. All right, so 10 a.m. we have Doug Ullman back. He is doing the second part of the Americans' First Ladies. So, yeah, it will be fun. It's interesting stories, photographs, about the forgotten memories of many America's first ladies. So that's the second part, up in Marion Hall at 10 a.m. Someone actually approached me and said, I could just listen to him all day. I could just come and sit and listen to him because he has such a great voice. So even if you don't like the topic, I guess he has such a great charisma and a demeanor that you can come and just chill out and listen to his voice. That's how good he is. 1 p.m. today we have Open Art Studio. Wednesday the 26th we have TED Talks. So there's usually 3 topics. There's 2 topics. One of them is a little bit longer. So the 2 recorded topics are the sustainability paradox and navigating a complex landscape and how to question your negative thoughts. 1:30 is 500 and 7 p.m. is bingo. And then for Thursday, 9/11, we have our recorded coffee chats on 991. And at 10:15, we're supposed to be going to Mystic Lake Casino. I'm gonna just assume it's gonna go ahead as planned. I think many of you know that we've had issues with our van, but from my understanding, fingers crossed. I'll let Jeff kind of tell you a little bit more about that, but I think it sounds like it will be fixed and roaring to go for tomorrow. I think we'll pick it up this evening. So fingers crossed that the van will be back in commission by the end of the day. But we will let you know on 991 if that's not the case. Friday, February 28th, 1 p.m. we have our coffee chats on 991 that's recorded from today. We have bridge and poker on Fridays at 1 p.m. 4 p.m. we have happy hour. 7 p.m. is our movie, King of Thieves. A crew of retired crooks pulls a nostalgic last hurrah for the group is soon wrecked by greed. This is a Michael Caine movie, so the King of Thieves, that's on Friday. I feel like I skipped something from this. Did I skip something from this last week? Nope, I think I got it all. All right, or from Wednesday, I meant. So Saturday, March 1st, 8 a.m. we have men's breakfast, 7 p.m. we have bingo, and next Monday the 4th we have knit and chat at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. we have 500. I think that's what I have for the week. Is there any questions? No? Okay, all right. I'll hand it over to Jeff. Yeah, that was quick.
Good morning. Good morning. Once upon a time, there was a princess in a faraway land. The beautiful young princess had a dilemma. She was in love with Igor, the blacksmith's son. She wanted to marry him. However, she knew that her father, the king, would not approve. Furthermore, if the king knew of their love, he would surely have the young man executed. So the young lovers devise a plan. They will elope. Sadly, their plan is foiled and they are stopped at the castle gates by the guards. They are brought before the king. Now the king was indeed furious, but decided to offer Igor a sporting chance. He said he would write the word princess on one piece of paper and death on another. And the young lad could decide his own fate by selecting one of the slips of paper from a jar. The 2 slips were crumbled up, thrown into a jar, and young Igor's fate in his own hands. If he picks out princess, he gets a princess. If he picks out death, he gets death. However, the king was sneaky and he writes the word death on both pieces of paper. Despite the king's trickery, Igor manages to win the prince's hand. And the puzzler question is, how did he thwart the king?
He had another crumpled piece of paper.
He had another crumpled piece of paper with the king's handwriting in? That's not going to work.
He took one and then showed the one that was left.
Fred, he took one and showed the one that was left. I'll give that to you. What he did is he pulled out the sheet of paper, looked at it, said death, throws it in his mouth, eats it, says, all right, I won. Well, what did the paper say? Well, it said the opposite of what's left in the jar. And the king didn't want to be a liar, so he won the...
Wow, you have to look all over for that one.
Huh?
You have to look all over for that one.
I don't look all over for anything, Marcia. Susan, it's only like that because Fred got it. That's why you're saying that. Thank you, Fred.
Okay.
As, what's her name? Jillian said, we had a problem with the brakes in the van yesterday. And so we took it off the road and we got it over to Midas. This is how things work sometimes. We got it to Midas, and about 3 o'clock, I called and said, how's the van coming? Oh, we can't even get it in the garage, let alone up on the lift. We can't work on your van. Thank you for telling us. So we called Spielman's Automotive, and you locals know that Spielman's right over here on Cedar Lake Road and Hopkins Cross Road. And we brought it over there, and they're gonna do the repair today, we hope. And so if that happens, we'll have the van back today yet, and we'll go on without any problems. With the warm weather, how many of you are in an apartment that's really hot? Call and set a work order for that. Are your feel your pipes. If your pipes are hot, you have a problem. Then it might just be solar, the sun, then open up a window. But now is the time. You could have had a zone valve stuck open in your apartment all winter and you wouldn't notice it because your apartment never needed to get turned off.
That makes sense.
But now, if your apartment is really warm, feel if the pipes are hot. If they are, call the front desk because there's a problem. All right, that's really all I have. Does anyone have any questions on anything? All right.
There's a hand over there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Stephen.
Could you fill us in on the future of the in-house telephone system? I don't know much about it. Would be
Sure, I can try. With the lease renewal and changes around the incidental charges and things, there has been quite a majority of opinion that they do not want to pay for the landline phone at Ridgepoint. Is that an accurate statement? Do people feel that way? Okay. Yep.
We don't want to pay for it, or we don't want it?
Well, they're one and the same in my mind. If you don't want to pay for it, it means you don't want it. Is that accurate? So you want it and you want it free. Well, who doesn't? Bev? Okay. Bev,
I use it all the time. It's wonderful.
yep. Okay, Stephen?
my phone went on the blink and I could not make or get my cell phone calls for 2 days. And obviously, I use the in-house system every single day, calling around the building, getting called because there's a package for me. I think it's a rather indispensable thing, and I think we need to investigate how we can keep it going. I do think there are more people that really do use it than you're indicating. I don't know what kind of questionnaire or whatever you did. But I do think that it's an important asset, and we need to know more about it. I think one thing you told me just earlier that you should share, that the system may well last quite a while as it is. It may not, but
Yep.
is that correct?
Yep. And Stephen says that perhaps there are more people that use the system than we think, and all that type of thing. And we did not do a survey. We don't know exactly what it is. What I can tell you, and I think I can speak to this, and I'm not trying to be arrogant or anything, but I know that 30 years ago when I came here, no one had a cell phone. No one had a computer. No one had a modem. And as time has progressed, how many have moved in the last year? Are there those of you that have moved in the last year, do you have a cell phone? Marianne?
I have one, but I hardly ever use it.
Okay. So one uses it, one doesn't. So Marianne, you used the landline phone. Was the landline phone a reason why you moved here?
No, it was.
No. Here's the other deal. Okay. The landline phones, the system that we use to operate cost about $100,000. If this system were to fail, I want to be able to say, we're not replacing it. Okay? You're on your own, folks. And when I say you're on your own, you can still contract with a local telephone company. I think it's Cybertel. I don't even know. What used to be Northwestern Bell. Not what's the local phone carrier? I don't know. Either way, you can get a landline phone to your apartment through them without going through us. So there will be options without our landline phones being one of them. Does that make sense? How does everyone feel about that? So, Stephen, if you want a landline phone, you just call and get one set up. Yep.
Notwithstanding the whole system drops, and there were some maintenance to keep it going, would we be able to discuss that with you to continue caring for that system?
The question is, if something happens where we have maintenance, happens all the time. We've got a couple contractors that we use that there have been problems in the past that we've had adjusted. Yes, to a point we'll maintain it. Everything like that, there's always a cost-benefit analysis to every decision you make. Some of them, you don't even spend any time on it, you just repair it. Others, as the numbers get bigger and we start to analyze, oh, should we repair or replace? You know, all those decisions that take place, that's where you have to trust us and know that we're prudent with the money, and we're aware of what level of service you expect, and we can take care of all of that. We're gonna drop the ball sometimes on that, but it's not for lack of trying, trust me. We have a very, very sensible staff, and many, many things are common sense. And as we look around and see organizations and things that make mistakes, usually it's just a lack of common sense. We know what we know, and more importantly, we know what we don't know. And when we don't know it, we ask questions.
Good point.
Are you okay with that, Stephen? Thank you.
So Jeff, my question is then, are we going to continue having the service for $10 a month?
No, you're going to continue having the service for nothing.
Okay, then.
For nothing. And like I told Stephen, it may last 5 years, 10 years. Also, it may not last 6 months. It's technology, and the world keeps spinning, and the biggest downside to that system is that's using a computer that operates an operating system that's 15, 20 years old. And as time changes and they do updates and things, pretty soon the companies say, well, we're not gonna maintain that because there's no computers out there, it's just obsolete. So I would say that our phone system as of today is obsolete. Just because it's obsolete doesn't mean it doesn't work, doesn't mean it can't be fixed. We did have the computer fail, and we ended up calling a guy from Hopkins who restored computers, vintage 2005, and we bought a computer from him. So I don't know if that's being resourceful or stupid or what it is, but we'll ask questions, we'll figure it out, we'll do the best we can. All right?
Okay.
Sam?
Yeah, it might be a good idea if you can come up with a list of options, just so if, thing fails and can't be fixed, you can pass out sheets of paper with all the options.
Thank you. I don't even know the local phone company's name, so yes, that would be an option. The number one option, and the option we think that is the future, is everyone have a cell phone. And yep, your cell phone might break. Everything has a risk. To not have any risk, you would have to have about 2 cell phones, a landline, and a third, the redundancy required. Life is a risk. And it's a question of how much money do I want to spend, and it's just a risk. Okay. What is the date today?
25th.
Mert Knudsen. Happy birthday. Mert is over at the kids' table outside of Jillian's office. Happy birthday, Mert. In 2 days, Grace Akpo, Estelle Weiss on the 28th. What's next month, Tuesday?
Next month is March.
Oh, I think we need to wish Jeanette Anderson a happy birthday too. March 3rd. That might be next Monday? Thank you. All right. No anniversaries. Let's sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friends. Happy birthday to you. Hold on. Okay, there's this little restaurant in southern Minnesota.
Oh no.
It serves the best chili in the state. In the state. A guy that used to live here was cruising down I-90, and he had heard about this chili. And he stopped into the restaurant and he goes, I would like a bowl of that famous chili. It was a little diner and he's sitting at the counter. You know those? I would love a bowl of that chili. Waitress says, I'm sorry, it is so popular, it just sold out. Oh, darn it. And the guy sitting next to him, he noticed, had a bowl of chili, and he goes, hey, you can have this, I'm not gonna eat anymore. If you want it, go ahead. Guy goes, you know what, thank you, I will. So he pushes it over, he starts eating it, and it is just wonderful chili. Wonderful, he's just enjoying it. All of a sudden, he hits something a little hard in there. Puts it on the spoon, it's a dead mouse. The guy sitting next to him says, that's about how far I got too. See, was it worth waiting around? The more no's I get, the more encouraged I get, so thank you. Have a good week, everybody.